Hi guys, it is Tuesday Night Live. It is Tuesday, November the 8th, Election Day here in the United States. And I have a variety of, well, we'll just get started. My name is Betty Sakosha. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Massachusetts and the team leader for the Power of Positive Inking. So thanks for joining me tonight or today or whenever it is that you're joining me. I appreciate that. I'm going to flip you down and show you the inspiration for this, and then I'll get into making the card. It's going to be, well, I think it's going to be quick. I always say it's going to be quick, and then it's less quick than I always think. Okay, ooh. Camera stand in the way. Let's skedaddle that over here. Here we go. All right. Excuse me. All right. Hello, Diane. Good to see you. Okay, so this is my inspiration. Don't get your hopes up because this is actually not the card that we're making tonight. This is a card that I made several years ago when we had a cupcake stamp set and dies. I enjoy baking and I really enjoy eating. So I'm hoping that moving forward soon we have some more goodies like cupcakes or pies or anything you could get in a bakery. I would like to see in a stamp form. So new catalogs are coming out and hopefully that will be something available. It's not available now, but the general idea of the card is what my inspiration was from. I am a very simple stamper, and well, some people call it simple, some people might call it lazy. Either might be accurate. In any case, I really like the idea of things lined up very simply. To me, it speaks volumes. That's a look that I love. So I often go back to this template. And so that's what I'm going to do tonight, but I'm going to do it using a completely different kind of stamp set. And it's this one here called the Season of Chic. To be honest, mostly what I'm using are the Season of Chic dies, the Chic dies, which can be found there on page 99 of your catalog. You can get them as a bundle, so the stamp set along with the dies, or you can get them separately. I always recommend if they coordinate, get them together. Excuse me 1 second. Let me grab a little drink of water there. Thank you. This stamp set, as you can see, kind of has a very, I don't know, to me, kind of an artsy feel to it. The coordinating paper that you can also get in the catalog has a very, I don't know, chic kind of look to it. So I tend to not think of this set as a very simple to stamp with set because of that. Yet what I'm going to show you tonight is actually quite simple. So let me pull out some previously made cards. I did a class recently with the bundle, and so here are some of the samples that we made in the class. Hi, Jody. So this one uses some of the distressed paper that you can get with it, along with the one of the dies in the set. Should probably pull those out for you. You get a lot of dies in the set, but this thing I call it netting because that's kind of the look it has to me. So I was able to use that down here and just kind of a very chic look. This is some of the DSP that comes with it, so this card could go either horizontal or vertical, depending on, as soon as you put your words in there, you've made the decision. I haven't made my decision, I guess. So this was some of the paper that went with it, and these are some of the dies of snowflakes that I used with it. Here is a different die, utilizing this stamp set, just the stamp set and the DSP, but I used the, I'm blanking on the name, something like half card die. I don't remember what it's called, but it's got this really cool die here. So I utilized that with the stamp set, and then I did some shell cards with the set along with some other ways to package this up. So here are some looks that coordinate the stamp set, the dies, and the DSP. that coordinates with it. But what we're going to do tonight is very, very different. So I am working basically just on a holiday card. And I'm just using this tiny little snowflake here. So there are a number of snowflakes in here. There's this one here. And I can pull that forward to show you. That actually makes what is the white snowflake on here. This frame here makes what is the outside green snowflake here. And then the tiny little guys is this snowflake right here. And then this one here is actually the one that I'm using tonight. Whoops. The one that I'm using tonight. So that snowflake, you get a lot of snowflakes with this set. Excuse me. Grab some water. Okay. So let me bring in what I'm working on. I wanted to do a card that was very simple, that was kind of non-traditional. I feel like that's all I've done recently is non-traditional. But I am doing non-traditional and or non-traditional colors. So I'm using Blushing Bride and white. I guess white is a traditional Christmas color. And I wanted to use the Snowflake embossing folder. So this is a 3D folder. Oh, I should have looked this one up. Give me 1 second so I can show you where you can find it. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is found right back here, Wintry 3D. So there's one that has like pine boughs and one that has snowflakes. And they are the little ones. They fit through your mini machine, your Baby Boss. And it's $10 for the two of them. But they're 3D folders. So, excuse me. I've cut a piece of basic white cardstock at 3 1/4 inches because that will fit perfectly in here. And I'm going to run this through my Baby Boss. If you're not familiar with the Baby Boss, it is a small version of what I call the Big Boss. I'm making sure I get my right folder. All of the directions are on the folders. They tell you exactly which one to put through. Standard embossing. This is for 3D. It tells you right there what to use this with. So the standard, the white plate number 1, your embossing folder, which is a 3D, which means it's going to be super embossed, and number 4 plate through. If you ever have trouble running this through, just offset your plates a little bit. They're a little bit persnickety about getting through if they're all kind of lined up together. So when I pull it out, I'll show you. I kind of have them offset a little bit so that as it kind of grabs it going through, it's allowed to kind of push that there. And that seems to work. Okay, so let me get my Baby Boss out of the way and show you how beautiful this is. Oh, I think I would like this to be a full-size embossing folder, but it's not. So I'm going to show you my card using not a full-size embossing folder. You could run it through twice. You do often, if you do that, get kind of a line down the middle. So you need to kind of find a way to finagle that line down the middle. And there are ways to do it, but in order to avoid that problem today, I'm just using it in its actual natural state of 3 1/4 inches. Okay, so the layer that I'm putting behind this is 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And then I'm using a piece of thick white cardstock, which I have cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2. If you are making a card on white cardstock, you really should stick to the thick white cardstock. It's a much, it's just better. It's just better. It feels like a real card. It doesn't feel like a card layer. It feels like a real card. So this basically is going to be the look of the front of the card. But before I get started with that, I'm going to kind of make this a little bit frosty looking. So I'm bringing in my white, my craft white ink pad. And I'm bringing in just a sponge. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit of ink and sponge around the edge. And this is kind of give it like a little bit of a frosty look, which right now, because it's all of November 8th, we don't really mind the frosty look, right? In about a month from now, actually 2 months, I don't think we mind frosty all the way through December. I think it comes about mid-January. We're sick of frost, we're sick of snow, we're sick of cold. But right now we kind of like that look. So that's the look. I didn't bother over here because those two areas are actually going to be completely covered up. So I'm not worried about that there. All right. Let me go ahead and glue this down. Why not? I can. So I'm just using green glue. I love using green glue if I have Tombow multi-purpose glue. If I'm using an embossing folder that is heavily embossed, which this is, any of the 3D embossing folders are heavily embossed. But it's nice because the glue will get kind of into those nooks and crannies and hold a little bit better than if you were to use your Stampin' Seal or Stampin' Seal Plus. Also, Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus, sometimes when you use it on the back of an embossed image, will kind of deboss it, and you don't want that. Trust me, you don't want that. Okay, so this was hand cut, so you can see that the top of it is a little bit wonky, but that's okay. That is okay. I'm going to give it a quick little trim. I shouldn't have even pointed it out. You might not have noticed. Well, some of you would have noticed. All right, so let me just give that a little bit of a trim here. Okay, perfect. Let me close this pad if I know what's good for me. And then this, just to let you know, I'll just bring this up to the sink when I'm all done and wash it off. The ink will come right off. All right, so this ultimately is going to go on here, but I'm going to hold on to that first and get my images on here. So I told you that my focal point for this was this snowflake here from the set of Chic Dies. This snowflake here, which is pretty tiny. And I previously cut it out so you wouldn't need to watch. And I cut out 4 per card. So this is going to be my, if I bring in my sample, my inspiration piece is right there. And this is going to be my card for this one. Just going to poke out these little paper poop pieces. Get rid of those. Okay. The easiest way that I find to do this is to do 1 snowflake at the top, 1 snowflake at the bottom, and then we're going to fill them in. Because I am who I am, I did not put this on any kind of adhesive back sheet. I'm just going to put some adhesive or some green glue right in the middle. And I'm going to push that down right there. I'm not worried about the sides. It will stick. Okay, so it's pretty close to the bottom and about 1/4 of an inch from this side here. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top so they're relatively evenly spaced. That looks pretty good. If you wanted to, you could take a ruler to the side. I'm not that type, but if you are that type, go for it. All right, now just to get a general idea, these are going to go in here like that, and then I'm going to have a greeting right across there, much like I had the greeting across here. So what I'm using is just a half inch by 3 1/4 inch little, basically scrap. When you're cutting your cardstock, you often end up with these 1/2 inch strips left over. So I keep them just in a little bin right up on my stamp table, and I'm ready to go. Because you use this and use 3/4 a lot, and so I've just got a bin of a bunch of those up on my stamp desk. So I'm using my Blushing Bride, and I'm actually using my current favorite holiday themed word set, which is called Framed and Festive. This is available now as part of the Fitting Florets promotion that's going on right now. So you can get the whole Fitting Florets collection, which includes this stamp set, or you can get this separate if you choose. This is a red rubber stamp set. It will not be available after this special that's going on right now. It is available now. I checked it just before I went on. It is available right now, but the Christmas part of this, the holiday greeting part of this, will not be carried over into the new catalog. So if you want this, you definitely want to get this now, and trust me, you want this for several reasons, mostly fa la la, and may the season be filled with peace and joy. Those are sort of my two favorite sayings on this set. Excuse me. But also, there's a teeny little Merry Christmas, which is what I'm going to use for my greeting right here. Now, a wise demonstrator probably would have stamped this ahead of time. I did not, because I like living on the edge. Let's see. Hopefully this worked. I got a couple backups if I need it. Oh, perfect! Okay, I'm going to call that a win and not worry about it. All right. Let me get that out of the way. All right, so this is now going to go. I have glued down this and this, but not the middle ones, but I'm going to adhere this right here in the middle, and I'm going to do that with some dimensionals. Hello, Sandy. I see somebody said that you will want it, and they are right. I'm not sure who said that, but absolutely, you will want it. Oh, Tammy! My friend Tammy is from Texas. Tammy, this is what snow looks like. Actually, it's not pink. I'll be honest with you. Snow is not pink, no matter what we people in New England say. Tammy did have snow a couple years ago, and I think she really enjoyed it in Texas. All right, so I'm just using dimensionals on the back of that. And it's just because it's white on white, and you really need to pop it in some way. So I feel that this is a very easy way to do this. When I'm all finished showing you this card, I'm going to show you another alternative that was just slightly more involved. Not much more involved, but a little bit more involved. And I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm just doing this one just by popping that up on dimensionals. All right, now I'm going to put the next one, the next snowflake. Snowflake number 3 is going to be the snowflake that fits right here. Again, about 1/4 inch in. I'm not concerned. As I mentioned, if you are, just put a ruler over here so that it lines up. And then my last snowflake, I'll just fit in between snowflake number 1 and snowflake number 3. Also, if you're not from New England, you don't see snow much, it never falls like this. It does not fall in lines. But it looks pretty, right? All right, so the card is nearly done. Told you it was simple, and I meant it. Okay, so I am going to take my previously scored and folded thick white cardstock, and I'm going to put my words on the inside. So I am going to use May This Season Be Filled with Peace and Joy, because this looks to me very peaceful and very joyful. And I like the font. So I'm going to use that stamp. Let me see. I feel like sometimes I stamp better if I position it as if I'm stamping. All right, so I'm going to put that on the inside. The reason I'm doing this first is in case I mess it up, this can be covered up. If you're new to stamping, the last thing you should do is stamp your greeting, but don't glue. Actually, the real last thing you should do is glue something down. I think that looks fun. So I'm going to use that. I don't have to cover it. If this had messed up, that would have then become this. There would have been a way around it, but it came out fine, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, let's put some Tombow on the back. I will adhere this hopefully in the middle here, like so. Now, to add an accessory to this, I'm going to pull in my accessory collection, and we can pick together what you would like. So I could use some of the gold. Whoops! Snowflake off. All right, let me squish that guy back on there. Let him dry. I'm just going to put some accessories right in the middle of my snowflakes just to kind of zhuzh it up a little. This is an option because these are a nice light pink color. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me show you some previous ones that I made, and then maybe we'll put a different accessory on this. So this is one that I made earlier, and I used this little sequin. Comes from the Christmas, whoops, they all fell out. It is the Christmas adhesive back seasonal sequins. So it's kind of the whitish ones. They also come in, they've escaped, but they come in gold and, here we go, gold and reddish, greenish, and the white. So that's what I used previously on that. Personally, I think the champagne is going to be too much. I think it's not the right color. I could use, oh, these would be pretty. Let's use these. I think these are going to be beautiful. So these, okay, let me tell you about these. These are called the red and green adhesive back pearls when you buy them. That's what they're called. Except I think they're actually listed as something different in the catalog. Now I feel like I need to know. Let me quickly grab it. I think that this was kind of a an oopsie. Let me just make sure I'm giving you correct information. Yeah, okay. In the catalog, they're found right there. Festive Pearls is what they're called. And you can see them there, although they look huge, and they're actually adorable and tiny. But they're sold on page 31 of the current mini catalog. And they are called just Festive Pearls. You can see them there. In real life, they are called red and green adhesive back pearls. So, oops. Anyway, I think this is going to be really pretty to put the silver on here. So I'm going to use those. Let me grab my Pick-a-Tool. I'm using the putty end of my Pick-a-Tool. I haven't used these yet, so oh, I love it. I hope you love it, because I love it. I feel like it's just doing a really nice job of popping the center of these snowflakes. Oh, that was the right choice, I think. Thanks for helping me. Okay, so that's what I chose there. I don't think you can appreciate it, but it is very, very pretty. This one here, as I mentioned, was the festive adhesive backed sequins. And then prior to that, I did this one here, which was a little bit different. And I did that with the iridescent rhinestones. I like it, but the iridescent rhinestones have a little bit of yellow to them, which maybe it wasn't the direction that I wanted to go. I probably should have gone with regular rhinestones, but I'm not going to change it. But if I was making a bunch of them, I'm not sure that I would have used those. Okay, so I told you I did something a little bit different here. And what I did here was that I used vellum. So I used vellum and I embossed the Merry Christmas using the Blushing Bride ink. And then I just put clear embossing powder on it to get the same image here. And then I just sponged ink on the back to adhere it here because we don't want to see our adhesive. So that's a good way to do it. So that's another thing. But this here is super, super quick. And it's just using a scrap. So that was kind of an easy way to do that. All right, let me show you a couple more samples made using the same set of dies that I showed you previously, but the exact same layout. So this one here, I just used the, there's a number of leaves that come in this set of dies. So there's these oak leaves that you could use, and then this, I don't know my trees, so I really don't know what the name of this leaf is, but it's this leaf right here, and or maybe this one. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, it's one of these 2 leaves here. I just cut out the exact same leaf in 3 different colors. And the embossing folder that I use for that is called Leaf Falling. Leaf Falling. And this is another 3D embossing folder from the holiday catalog. And this is a wide one. So this you have to use through in your Big Boss, unlike the one that I showed you tonight that you can use in your Baby Boss. So the words that I used here, I used these beautiful brass, what are they called? Polished brass? What are they called? I'm pretty sure they're called, now I cannot, for the life of me, find them. But they are like polished brass, embellishments. They come in several different colors, but this was kind of a nice accent to go with this one here. So you might be wondering, Betty, where does that Endlessly Grateful come from? Comes from this stamp set I don't want you to overlook. It's called Very Best Occasions. One of my friends bought it twice, because that happens sometimes. And so I took a look at it and said, I definitely will buy that off you because I love it. And I'm going to show you because I'm using it on another card as well. But it's got a couple holiday greetings as well as good thinking of you with comfort and love, which is perfect for people going through a tough time. Sending smiles for every moment of your special day. May you enjoy the warmth of the family this season. I almost thought about putting on the inside of this card, but I'm not exactly sure yet. So I haven't committed to that one yet. Then I wanted to show you the last card using the same layout and the same set of dies. So I just use this little, I don't know what you call that, a conical-like shell, a periwinkle shell maybe? I'm not sure. Anyway, that shell is what I used here. And the embossing folder that I used is a 3D embossing folder from the annual catalog. And it's all seashells. You can probably see it better on here. And it is beautiful. If you don't own this, you absolutely should add this to your wish list because you almost don't have to do anything to the card because the embossing folder does all the work for you. It's really, really stunning. And I just added a few iridescent pearls on this card to kind of make it pop a little bit. This stamp called Love You, Mean It. This stamp set that says Love You, Mean It is also from the Very Best Occasions. And this really is what sold me on it because I just love that phrase, Love You, Mean It. You could put You're the Best Ever, but look at this one. Look at what I put inside. You make my life happier. Isn't that fantastic? Wouldn't you love to get a card that said that? I was actually thinking that would be a nice kind of back of almost every card. I think it would be really nice if you turned over the card because you know your friends are turning it over to see who made it, and to see on the back of the card that you make my life happier. I think that's really sweet. All right, so let me just pull out my inspiration piece once again. Let me get all my working parts out of here. This was my inspiration piece from several years ago when we had a cupcake set, and then the cards that I made tonight were with the snowflake. And I also have a fall card and a kind of any season, maybe summer season, but just kind of any season card with the same type of look. So if you have a card layout that you like, definitely keep that stored away somewhere. Save it to a board on Pinterest or something. Save it somewhere so that you can go back to, because if it's kind of your thing, you'll go back to it time and time again. All right, let me flip you down. Oh, wait a minute. Before I flip you down, I want to just mention this one more time. So this is the Framed in Festive, which is still available. All customers can buy this now. Demonstrators as well as Stampin' Up! Customers can buy this now. But know that it is not going to be in the new catalog moving forward. So if it is something you like, you definitely want to get it sooner rather than later because once it's sold out, it will not be available again. So, if you're interested in the whole collection, which involves this beautiful paper. You can go back and look. I did some previous videos on this. But this beautiful paper, this unbelievable set of dies, this photopolymer stamp set with some really nice sayings as well as beautiful flowers. The framed and festive stamp set, as well as these embellishments. If you choose to get that, it's $97. It is available to everybody right now. And there is the number for that, 163129. If you choose to get the parts to it, you certainly can, but I definitely want to highlight this one here, which is the framed and festive stamp set that I'm showing you tonight, and that is 160888, and that is for $23. All right, so is one layout, several cards, one layout, what you can do with it, and one is really one set of stamp dies. I didn't actually even use the stamps that go with that set. Those are the Chic Dies. So if you are interested in anything that you saw this evening, please visit my website or your demonstrator's website. If somebody else brought you here, please go visit their website, and they will take good care of you and make sure you get what you need. Right now, everything that I've shown you tonight is available. It is difficult to say. It's just the nature of commerce these days. Sometimes things are available and then they're not. So if there's something that you saw tonight, particularly if you're thinking I need it for a holiday, get it ordered ASAP. My website is bettyboop.stampinup.net. And if another demonstrator from my team brought you here, please visit their websites. You will be able to find them, or be in touch with them, and they will take good care of you. All right, this weekend I'm off to On Stage, which is a Stampin' Up convention that happens, well, when it happens. It's happening now, so that's good. Hasn't happened in a couple of years in real life, but it is this weekend. So I'm going to be back with lots of new ideas to share with you. I cannot wait. So tune in next Tuesday. I will see you then. Be in touch before then if there's anything that I can do for you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Bye.